बेसिक डिफरेंस बिटवीन द निश एंड हैबिटेट स्टडी किया था, राइट? So now also we'll take forward it, and I will not go in detail again जो last lecture में किया था उसके बारे में, because it was just an introduction, right? उसमें इतना कोई डिटेल में ऐसा कुछ था नहीं, so even if you could just read it once, तुम लोग को वो आपस से रिकलेक्ट हो जाएगा. Why I'm saying this? Because I think it's a long gap in between, and maybe तुम लोग का what you know, that touch is not there currently with the topic, so that's why just for you. So you can just go through the introduction again today, and then if you are still having any doubts, we can discuss it in the next lecture. However, I will be commenting on all this as we are moving ahead. Okay, so it should not be a problem. So if you remember last time हमने चालू किया था about the habitat and niche. So जितना मुझे याद है हम लोगों ने एक डिस्टिंग्विश बिटवीन देखा था, जहाँ पे हमने देखी थी exactly what are the differences between the habitat and the niche. How are they different from each other? We will be revising that distinguish between again after finishing this particular topic. But for now, I hope you all remember. So अभी तो मैंने यहाँ पे सब लिखा है, so I will not ask the question, but we will just see what is it. So when I say habitat, what is it? If you remember, it is a physical state occupied by a particular species. Okay, or you can say ये particular species कहाँ पे रहता है, उसका रहने का जगह is called as habitat. Okay, so it can be affected by many biotic and abiotic factors. So now what are abiotic and biotic factors? Abiotic matlab non-living factors. It includes sunlight, it can be a rainfall, a temperature in a particular area, or what type of soils are present, what types of topographical, what is the topographical surface factors? It is like what is the surface characters, वो वहाँ पे वो like it's plain or it is having many mountains or like that. Okay, so many abiotic factors are playing a major role, and there are also some biotic factors which include different organisms like bacteria, some pathogens, some parasites, and many other. Okay, so all these together will control, or we can say regulate the habitat, which is a place or area where a particular species actually lives. Okay, so if I want to give some examples of habitat, what can I say? It includes ponds, it includes rivers, ocean, etc. So all these are actually aquatic habitat. Okay, pond is also water, you can say a small level. Okay, river also a habitat, or you can say aquatic habitat, but a bit better than the, or we can say bigger than the pond, and the ocean is like the biggest here. After that, there are many other habitats. These are the aquatic habitats, but then there are many other like forest, or we can say tropical, or we can say grasslands and all. So these are different habitats. Why these are habitats? Because many organisms, even if I take ocean as an example, so there are multiple different organisms or animals and the plants which are staying together in ocean. It's not like कि पूरे ocean में से एक ही कोई तो organisms है. Not like that. Yeah, there are maybe some division, क्योंकि upper layer में ये रहेंगे, उसके बाद वाले layer में से some different organisms will be there. उसके बाद में इसमें different in very depth in the ocean में भी something different. Yeah, that is obviously possible. And वो कैसे थे वो भी हम लोग आगे देखेंगे. But what I meant to say, in a habitat many species can stay together. Okay, even if I give you example of a forest, so starting from different plants, and उसके ऊपर then different birds are there, different deers, even the carnivores like cheetah, and then tiger, lion and all. Habitat, a forest can be habitat, but उसके अंदर भी you will see a particular area is restricted to only lions. So it, like we will discuss, so there should not be a competition. तो ऐसा रहता है कि हम लोग, तुमने सुना रहेगा on Discovery or any like channel जहाँ पे ये सब दिखता है about animals and all, National Geography and all. So basically what they say, हाँ ये particular lion का ये इलाका है, या फिर this tiger is just belong to this particular area. What does it mean by them? Like what do they actually want to convey? What is ilaka? It means that particular community or that particular animals will not let others come in that particular area. मतलब अगर वो एरिया में अगर ऑलरेडी कोई तो टाइगर रहेगा तो इट विल नॉट अलाउ लायंस टू कम इन द स्पीसीज इन दैट एरिया. व्हाई? बिकॉज इट विल इंक्रीज द कंपटीशन, राइट. जितना ज़्यादा कॉम्पिटिशन उतना ज़्यादा फूड कम होगा तो देयर विल बी प्रॉब्लम्स इन देयर सर्वाइवल. So that's why all these things. But what I want to convey here is all these things. What I am saying about competition or then this separation and all, हम लोग आगे डिटेल में पढ़ेंगे. But for now, what I want you all to know कि habitat में multiple species can stay all together. Okay. So these habitats can be arboreal, terrestrial, aerial or aquatic. So aquatic का example already तुम लोग देख लिया, pond, river and oceans. Aerial is something the birds and all जो like हवा में रहते हैं basically, like जो उड़ सकते हैं kind of thing. Terrestrial on land, forest is the best example. And what is arboreal then? Arboreal is something like there are few species of few plants जो plant के ऊपर रहते हैं, like पेड़ के ऊपर रहते हैं. So all these are called as arboreals. Okay. And so all this is a part of habitat. But for each and every organism, there is something called as microhabitat is present. So now habitat and microhabitat, how can I differentiate the two, right? मतलब कैसे में दोनों तो वर्ड तो सेम ही लग रहे हैं, सिर्फ दूसरे में माइक्रो अटैच हो गया है. So what do this micro mean basically? This microhabitat is nothing but the immediate surrounding of an organism. ओके मतलब उससे बहुत क्लोज वाला जो एरिया रहेगा वो which will actually affect its survival or its living in a particular area. So this microhabitat plays an important role. It can be like वो organism कौन से environment में है, वो कैसे survive कर रहा है. On all these factors will be dependent on this microhabitat. So I hope तुम लोगों को habitat का concept is clear now. It is a space where the living particular living being is staying, और वो कहाँ पे रह रहा है वो जगह. उसके बाद आता है niche. Niche is a concept given by a scientist known as Jay Greenall. Okay, actually there is a lot of confusion between the habitat and niche. People easily get confused कि ये क्या होता है, दोनों तो सेम ही लगता है. So now we need to differentiate it. Okay, exactly how the habitat is different from the niche, or we can say a niche is different from the habitat. Habitat is quite easy to understand because what does it indicate कि वो कहाँ पे रहता है, उसका physical existence कहाँ पे है. That is what habitat is. But niche is थोड़ा more complicated level, or we can say next level understanding is required. So what does this particular niche indicates? क्या दिखाता है, क्या मतलब है इसका? It is a position of a species in an environment. मतलब वो कहाँ पे? But then what does it indicate? You will say even habitat was showing me the physical position of the organism. Then ये का difference क्या है? Because niche mainly deals with वो कैसे रहता है, वो क्या करता है, वो अपना फूड एंड शेल्टर कैसे मैनेज करता है, अपने नीड्स कैसे कंप्लीट करता है, वो सब देखना. मतलब habitat shows me okay, animal stays in a forest, but then how, what will niche tell me कि वो forest पर रहता है, that is okay, that is its habitat. But forest में रह के वो क्या खाता है, कहाँ पे रहता है, what are its needs, how it's completing its like requirement, shelter का या फिर whatever food and all, and what is the procedure is following to get like to survive in this particular world. Because if we all know there is something called as survival of fittest. जो fit होगा वही जिएगा और जो struggle करेगा वही जिएगा. If someone is not able to cope up this particular struggle in a race of the you can say in this particular race or in this particular competition with the other species and the interspecies thing, it will get vanished off. So that should not happen. And these all things we actually study in under the term or under the roof of the niche. Okay, so it actually deals with the flow of energy from one organism to another. and that's why it is important to understand. So if you remember the different layers, or you can, if you remember the food chain, so there is a producer, say then primary consumers, then secondary consumers, then tertiary consumers, and then the peak of the food chain and all these things are there, right? When I say consumers or primary consumers and consumers, and I'm saying the energy is being transferred from the producer to the next level to the next level. इसका मतलब क्या होता है कि producer, which are the plants, are eaten up by the herbivores. Herbivores are eaten up by the carnivores. Carnivores are eaten up by the next level carnivores, and like that, right? So in this entire process, the energy जो था food in, like I can say, in the producer, that is directly or indirectly being transferred to the next level. Okay, and that's what the niche deals with. It tells us about how the energy is flowing from one organism to the next another or next organism. Okay, so that's why it is very important to understand this particular concept, and it is important to know what the particular organism is eating and how it is obtaining its food and how it is interacting with the other organisms. Okay, so the niche is actually particular space which is, we can say, in within a habitat. तो एक बड़ा हैबिटेट है, उसके अंदर बहुत सारे निश हो सकते हैं, एंड each niche is a species specific. मतलब एक निश में एट अ टाइम ओनली एक ही ऑर्गेनिज्म रह सकता है. नाउ यू विल से हाउ इज दिस पॉसिबल. तो व्हाट विल आई से, एक ही ऑर्गेनिज्म जिसका फूड रिक्वायरमेंट्स आर सेम, ऐसे there can be multiple at the same time. We will see that ठीक, there are different types of niche also, तो हम लोग डिस्कस करेंगे आगे. बट फॉर नाउ जस्ट कीप इन माइंड कि एक हैबिटेट में बहुत सारे निश हो सकते हैं, एंड एक निश में सिर्फ एक ही स्पीसीज रह सकता है. एज सुन एज वन स्पीसीज लीव्स द निश, some other species will come and take that position. Okay, but no two species will generally stay or share the same niche. Okay, if the species, sometimes the species creates its own unique niche in an ecosystem. So how it is possible? So that, like, they will just vary in their food demands and their survival way, etc. So it will be very helpful for them because it actually reduces the competition. Because as I already have given you example of the lions and the tigers. Basically both of them are carnivores and they require food. और उनका अगर तुम लोग food देखोगे जो लोग खाते हैं, that is almost same, right? It is not like the lion will say okay, I will only eat deer, and the tiger will say I will only eat some other kind of, like, I will only eat the rabbits or some other animals. It's not like that, no. They are both are carnivores and both are having the similar kind of demand. That's why there is a competition. But there are some species which can make their own ecosystem. Like they are, even though they belong to the same kind of animal category, they differ in their food demands, and that's why they can share the same kind of habitat or niche. So example देना चाहूँगा again. It is a example of birds. So we know there are multiple or different types of birds present, right? And these birds actually differ in the eating habitats. So even if you just be like in Kalyan Lake City also, there are multiple birds you can see. Sparrows, very common. Pigeons are there. Then there are sometime rarely also can see parrots and all. So all these, like you can see, all of them are staying here together. So, but then these birds actually differ in their eating habits, right? Where some birds eat only insects, some only fruits, and some can eat both and anything they can come across. So some are, like we can say, carnivores, herbivores, and some are omnivores, like they are eating both the things. So here we can say that these birds which are living in the same habitat are differing in their niches because they are differing in their eating habitats. हर एक का मतलब, so we can say the birds which are eating fruit are coming under one niche. The birds who are eating the insects are coming under one niche, and the birds who are eating both are coming under one niche. So this is how the concept of niche was established. Okay, I hope it is clear. If you are having any doubt, you can ask. There are multiple again types of the niche which we are going to study. So these are three types of the niche basically. It includes spatial or habitat niche, trophic level niche, and the multidimensional or hypervolume niche. Okay. So what is spatial or habitat niche now? The name spatial मतलब the position of an organism in a space basically. Space मतलब not the typical space वाला space but the typical physics वाला space. Okay. And the habitat मतलब उसका physical existence कहाँ पे. So it is actually dealing with the physical space occupied by the organism. It is more of related to the habitat concept जो हमने अभी सीखा था या फिर देखा था. Okay. It is actually dealing with कि वो organism में कहाँ पे अपना physical space occupied करके रखा है. Okay, that is indicated by this spatial or habitat niche. The next level comes, trophic level niche or a trophic niche. What does it indicate? It shows us what is the level of this particular organism और कहाँ पे present है ये organism in a food chain. ये producer है या फिर ये primary consumer है, ये secondary consumer है, ये tertiary consumer है, क्या है? And that is this kind of classification is like done based on this kind of classification the trophic niche is decided. Okay, it is very important. Why? Because it gives us idea about the energy transfer from one species to next species. Okay, so that's why it is important. And then the last type of the niche comes like it is multidimensional or hypervolume. So actually it is multidimensional और hypervolume मतलब बहुत बड़ा ऐसे सब कुछ इन्वॉल्व होने वाला. Why? Because इसमें बहुत सारे फैक्टर्स आते हैं. It includes all the possible biotic and abiotic factors and उनका interaction with the animals and the plants, and that's why it results in a space which is like consisting of a big hypervolume, like something which includes many different things and we are trying to study. Like this hypervolume, it includes बहुत स्मॉल से स्मॉलेस्ट ऑर्गेनिज्म से लेके लार्जेस्ट ऑर्गेनिज्म तक सब कुछ और उनके अलग अलग एंगल से और अलग अलग डायमेंशन से हम लोग स्टडी करने की कोशिश करते हैं. एंड दैट्स व्हाई इट इज हाइपर वॉल्यूम एंड दिस इज समथिंग एक्चुअली बियॉन्ड समथिंग वी कैन इवन थिंक द ह्यूमन माइंड बियॉन्ड. ओके, so this is called as hypervolume niche. It includes different biotic and abiotic factors which are actually playing a role together. It is actually indicated. It actually also indicates the position of an organism in the environmental gradient. So there are different levels of the like environmental gradient, like how the different factors are playing a role. There are different abiotic factors. There are different biotic factors. So we can say okay, rainfall is there. So it is kind of one factor which is controlling the different multiple factors. So rain है तो उसकी वजह से वहाँ का different क्या क्या types of organisms रहने वाले हैं वो that can differ. वहाँ के plants का pattern can differ. So all these things, okay. So it can be indicated under the multidimensional or a hypervolume niche. Okay. So this is one type of classification we can say. Yeah. So the next type of classification is fundamental and the realized niche. What is the now fundamental and realized niche, and on what basis are we classifying them? So for every species, there is a fundamental and a realized niche. Okay, and it is actually classified based on the competition. What do I mean by competition? So it is kind of a race between different organisms to survive. Okay, so when I say fundamental niche, it is a niche in the absence of all the competitors. मतलब वहाँ पे सिर्फ एक ही बंदा रहेगा जो अपना सुखी संसार करता रहेगा, मतलब एक ही कम्युनिटी रहेगा, एक ही टाइप ऑफ फिशेस रहेगा, सिर्फ वही वो पर्टिकुलर एरिया में रहते रहेंगे एंड दैट देयर विल बी नो कंपटीशन फॉर. सो देयर विल बी नो कंपटीशन मतलब क्या, जो भी फूड अवेलेबल है वो सब उनका, जो भी जहाँ पे जो जगह रह रहे हैं वो भी पूरा पूरा उनका. So there will be no interruptions or interference from the other species, and that is called as fundamental niche. But if you consider this kind of niche, I think this is just impossible, because even if we can see a typical forest system, forest सिर्फ एक का नहीं होता है. Forest includes a large number of different species of plants and animals. So competition, we can say, is an integral part. They have to fight, they have to compete for their food and survival, right? Yeah, we can say fundamental risk in terms of जो नेशनल पार्क्स वगैरह बनते हैं वहां पे, बट देन दैट इज नॉट एट ऑल नेचुरल सिस्टम, राइट? दैट इज समथिंग जो हम लोगों ने आर्टिफिशियली क्रिएट किया है, हम लोग वहां पे लेके आ रहे हैं एंड ऑल. लाइक टू से इट कि हमने उसको आर्टिफिशियली क्रिएट किया इज अ रॉन्ग वर्ड, बिकॉज नेशनल पार्क इज समथिंग जहाँ पे ऑलरेडी जगह रहता है वहां पे. बट स्टिल इट इज मेक्स इट दे एक्चुअली मेक श्योर दैट कि ओके, टू गो इन नेशनल पार्क लेवल, आई विल मेक इट मोर इजी. द जू, जो जू है ऑल पे, जहाँ पे लाइक हमारे यहाँ पे रानी क्या बोलते हैं हम लोग, व्हाट इज दैट, वीर जीजा माता समथिंग समथिंग, सो जो भाई कला में बेसिकली. या सो व्हाट आई, तो इट इज अ जू जहाँ पे हमने डिफरेंट डिफरेंट एनिमल्स को लाके रखा है. दे ऑल आर केजड, लाइक सबका अपना अपना एक पार्ट दिया हुआ है, केज दिया हुआ है. उनको हर शाम को खाना मिलता है, सुबह खाना मिलता है, नॉट. But that is not a natural way. So even though there is not a competition, that is not at all a natural thing, and that's why we cannot consider it as a fundamental niche. What is niche? जो भी natural system में हो रहा है वैसा कुछ. Okay, so the fundamental niche is kind of, we can say, uh, improbable in nature. Improbable in nature. Why? Because competitors or competition is an integral part of any ecosystem or any natural system. So now this is not possible, so something new has to be there. So it comes realized list, which is giving us more realistic approach. So it is something in presence of the competition for the resources available in the habitat. It can be the competition for a food or competition for the space or the survival. And इसमें से जो बचेगा वो आगे बढ़ेगा. That kind of thing. That is why it is more realized kind of conditions which are there. Okay, so the next thing comes over here. Now I think now I have explained you about the niche and the habitat in detail. What are the definition, what are the examples and all. So now again I will explain you this distinguish between जो हमने last class में already discuss किया था, but just for more clarity now, because I think now सबको समझा है कि what is habitat and niche. So now you will be able to relate जो हमने last time discuss किया था. So if you see the first point, which is a kind of definition, we can say, what did it say? Yeah, anyone in doubt? Okay, so I will continue. Habitat is an area where a species lives, मतलब उसका physical space actually, and interacts with the other factors and prosper. Whereas a niche is a concept of how an organism lives or survives in the environmental conditions. Now, habitat consists of numerous niches. Niches do not contain such components. So, niche is a single component, but in a particular habitat, multiple niche can be present. I don't know if you all remember. So, when an example दिया था, I am having a 4 BHK flat. So, the entire flat is kind of habitat. But जो each room of the habitat रहेगा, that will be the niche. So something like that. If I want to give you a simplest analogy, basically, so that is the case. Okay. Then the effect of temperature and rainfall and other abiotic factors actually affect the habitat. However, in case of niche, it is the flow of energy from one organism to the next organism is something playing an important role. Habitat supports numerous species at a time. However, niche supports only one species, because we all know niche is a species specific. Habitat is a physical place, niche is the activity performed by the organism. and habitat is not a species specific, niche is a species specific. So I think till now whatever we have discussed, इसमें सब कुछ cover up किया है, and now it is clear to all of you. If you have any doubt, you can ask. Yeah, so niche is a job of organism. जॉब यस जो कर रहा है खुद के लिए, खुद के सर्वाइवल के लिए. सो इट इज नॉट लाइक वो किसी और के लिए कुछ काम कर रहा है, नो, वो खुद के लिए जॉब कर रहा है. सो मतलब या यू कैन से इट इज द जॉब ऑफ एन ऑर्गेनिज्म जिसकी वजह से उसको खाना रिसोर्सेस मिलने वाला है.
ओके सर, फिर वो जो कुछ भी करेगा वो सब उसमें आ जाएगा ना, वो किधर जा रहा है और फिर वो क्या कर रहा है.
यस सो नॉट एवरीथिंग. सो ओके, अगर वो फूड के लिए कहीं पे जा रहा है, सो लेट्स से एक पर्टिकुलर हैबिटेट है, वहाँ पे अभी फूड का कमी हो गया है. सो नाउ द एंटायर ग्रुप विल मूव टुवर्ड्स समथिंग एल्स. सो दैट विल बी a particular niche is actually species is actually leaving the niche and going to the next place so that they will get the food. That is kind of migration they are doing. Some will develop, so we will learn all this. So अगर कुछ activity हो करना होगा तो कैसे करते हैं. In the next part there is something called as adaptation. Now what is adaptation? It is something कि अगर कुछ problems हो गया या फिर कुछ critical conditions है, how this particular species will actually मैनेज टू कोप अप विद सच प्रॉब्लम. तो वो क्या क्या चेंजेस खुद में करेंगे, खुद के बिहेवियर में करेंगे, खुद के बॉडी में करेंगे, सो दैट दे कैन सर्वाइव इन अ प्रॉपर कंडीशन. तो वो सब हम लोग इंडिल करेंगे आगे. सो डोंट वरी अबाउट दैट, बट यू आर करेक्ट. ओके, यू क्या सेइंग, इट इज अ जॉब, इट इज अ जॉब व्हिच इज द ऑर्गेनिज्म इज डूइंग फॉर इट्स ओन बेनिफिट्स. कि उसको फूड चाहिए इसलिए वो हम ढूंढने के लिए जाएगा, उसको वो अपना कॉम्पिटिशन कम करेगा, वो अपने लिए शेल्टर ढूंढेगा, ये सब काम वो करेगा. एंड दैट इज व्हाट यू कैन से तो काइंड ऑफ सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयमेंट यू कैन से द एनिमल विल डू. अभी उसके ये एक्टिविटी की वजह से others might get affected, might not get affected. That is a different case. So even this we will learn in the next part of chapter. There is something called as mutualism, there is something called as commensalism. तो जहाँ पे we can say commensalism, जहाँ पे मतलब इसका I know you will not understand it right now, but what I am trying to convey is like कि what does this indicate? It indicates the relationship between the two organisms. तो कभी कभी कैसे होता है कि एक ऑर्गेनिज्म कुछ तो कर जाता है जो उसका नेचुरल प्रोसेस है, उसको करना ही पड़ता है, and it will just move ahead and something else will use that process जो उसने किया है for its benefit. So because of which कैसे एक तो कोई फायदा लॉस हो नहीं रहा है, वो तो अपना काम ही कर रहा है, वो दूसरे को फायदा हो जाता है. In another case, some organisms stay all together so that they will provide some benefits to each other. We can say the benefits for friend for benefits kind of thing. तो एक कुछ तो काम करेगा, दूसरे को उसका बेनिफिट होगा, दूसरा कुछ तो काम करेगा, पहले को उसका बेनिफिट होगा. That kind of relationship. So all these things actually happens in a particular habitat, in a particular niche, which we will learn in this chapter. So ये chapter is all about this only. कौन कहाँ पे रहता है, तो कॉम्बिनेशन क्या क्या होता है, उसका रिलेशनशिप कैसे कैसे होता है, all these things we will be learning. So let's go step by step. I don't want to jump directly in a commensalism right now because तुम लोग को समझेगा नहीं. So let's go step by step. Let's see क्या होता है. Sorry. Yeah. So the next point is like, if you all remember, yeah, sorry. Yeah, so next point is like, if you all remember, I had mentioned there are certain biotic and abiotic factors. What are the biotic factors? It includes all the living beings, starting from different types of microbes and all. What is abiotic factors? All the non-living things like sunlight, temperature and all. And both these biotic and abiotic factors all together control or regulate the habitat. How? They will control the habitat in such a way that a particular plant will only able to grow or a particular species will only able to survive like that. So biotic factors we will be discussing in detail in later part maybe. But for now, I will be discussing more in detail about the abiotic factors, which includes temperature, water, light, and the soil. These are the four important abiotic factors which actually regulate the habitat. Okay. So the next point comes over here. The first thing to discuss is temperature. Okay. I think everyone is having some idea कि temperature is कितना important for, like obviously अभी हम लोग सब यहाँ पर रहते हैं at a normal temperature. The moment you go to the uh, Jammu or like any place जहाँ पे snowfall वगैरह होता है, okay, you can use all the warm clothes and all वो सब use करोगे, sweaters वगैरह acceptable, but still your body feels it more as compared to the people who are surviving there. मतलब जो वहाँ पे रहे, जो लोग कश्मीर के ही है, उनके that is normal, their body has adapted it. But when you go there you feel थोड़ा more ठंडी, right? Because तुम लोग कहते हैं कि नहीं, हम लोग को आदत नहीं होता. So same thing happens even with the different animals also. So only specific type of animal can survive in a cold temperature, only certain kind of animal can survive in a normal temperature, only certain kind of animals can survive in a high temperature. So all these things are there, and all this, because of all these things, temperature is one of the most important factor which decides the activity of the habitat. Okay. So we all know the average temperature on the land can be varies from like sub-zero levels to in a polar. So in polar regions like the Antarctica and all, it can be even sub-zero temperature, like below zero temperature, and as it can be as high as like 50 degrees Celsius at various deserts like Rajasthan and all. And then in our places like the normal places, it is normal like 30 to 40 degrees रहता है. So this what does it indicates? The temperature actually varies at different places. Okay, and it can also vary seasonally. So now seasonally matlab, as we all know, in India 4 months winter, 4 months summer, 4 months monsoon basically. Even though the monsoon is not following any particular route nowadays, that's a different thing. But I'm just saying, trying to convey you कि this is how seasonally हम लोग divide किए हैं, right? So summer में there will be very heat, large like very uh, hot temperature, so बहुत गर्मी होता है, so temperature will be high. Monsoon में थोड़ा ऐसे in between, we can, what can we say, humid kind of thing, मतलब not very hot, not very cold, but then थोड़ा बीच वाला टेम्परेचर. एंड विंटर में वेरी कोल्ड kind of temperature. अभी विंटर चालू होगा, राइट? सो दिस काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स आर कॉल्ड एज सीजनल वेरिएशन. And even the temperature varies with the location wise. So I think it is very common now. If you go to the top of the mountain, you will feel that thandi hawa and all. But in normal places, it is not possible. So even that also matters, and that also will is a one of the thing जहाँ पे temperature changes you can observe. And also one more thing, like if you go from equator towards pole, the temperature will decrease. So most of the places जो अभी इक्वेटर पे है वहाँ पर temperature is different, but then if you go towards south or north pole of the earth, there will be like very low temperature. Okay, and then there are some habitats जहाँ पे temperature is very high, so it includes like hot springs or some deep sea hydrothermal vents. So actually this is a part of the sea depth में जो रहते हैं जहाँ पे these particular parts actually have a very hot temperature or very high temperature because of some activity which are happening under sea, basically you can say this is happening. But then just imagine if अगर वो sea में हो रहा है, so there has to be some organism which can tolerate this organism, this high temperature. So yes, there are certain animals and we can say organisms to be more precise कि जो ऐसे temperature को survive कर सकते हैं. Okay, so they are called thermophiles and all that we will study in the, as we are going ahead. But then just what I want to convey right now is there are such animals or organisms can survive at very high temperature or which can survive at very low temperature as well. Okay. Why temperature is important factor now? Tell me, what do you think why temperature is important? Because wherever you stay, no matter तुम लोग कश्मीर में रहो या तुम लोग कन्याकुमारी में रहो या यू गो टू यूएसए यूके वेर एवर और यू गो टू अंटार्कटिका वेर एवर यू गो दो चीज तो इम्पोर्टेंट है एक तो तुम लोग को जीना है राइट एंड फॉर जीने के लिए यू व्हाट यू नीड टू यू हैव टू हैव अ मेटाबॉलिकली एक्टिव सिस्टम खाना खा रहा हो बट वो डाइजेस्ट होना भी तो इम्पोर्टेंट है वो प्रोसेस होना भी तो इम्पोर्टेंट है एंड दैट्स व्हाई and all this process includes enzyme. So why this temperature factor is important for us? Because there are many things which are temperature dependent, not only externally but internally also. Okay, so there are some enzymes which actually work at specific temperature called as optimum temperature, and that's why this particular uh, factor plays important role. Obviously there are some, like it's not like कि जैसे जैसे बाहर का टेम्परेचर बढ़ेगा it will affect the internal temperature also. No, like that, not like that. I don't know how many of you remember that chapter Kingdom Animalia. तुमने यहाँ पे कुछ पढ़ा रहेगा warm blooded and cold blooded and all. So what does it mean? So there are some which actually changes the temperature as per the external environment, but there are few which cannot change their internal temperature. It is constant throughout the life, and they are called as warm blooded, right? So that's why this particular factor is important, because some or other way it is actually affecting the metabolic activity also. Okay, so that's another reason why temperature is an important factor. And then comes the last point, like which I mentioned, there are few organisms that can tolerate and thrive in a wide range of temperature, जिसको हम लोग बोलते हैं यूरिथर्मल. यूरी मतलब wide range of, like, okay, like they can actually tolerate, but then there are vast majority of the them which actually restricted to only narrow range of temperature. मतलब वो लोग नहीं survive कर सकते, they cannot tolerate the high temperature, and these are called as xenothermal. तो कुछ organisms है जिन लोग को broad range है, like they can survive at different temperature range, that is possible, तो उनका हम यूरिथर्मल बोलते हैं. but there are few जिनका conditions are very restricted, they can survive, मतलब उसको अगर 50 degree चाहिए 50 degree ही चाहिए, it cannot survive at 70 degree Celsius. So such animals are also there and they are called as xenothermal. So I hope you understood what is the how the temperature is important factor.
सर ये डीप सी हाइड्रोथर्मल वेंट क्या है?
It is actually a typical, you can say, part, मतलब क्या बोलते हैं उसको अभी, some in a sea there are some, like say it's not like जैसे हम देखते हैं कि even on land there are different, तो यहाँ पे कुछ जगह पे सब mines are there, like it is not even thing, like जहाँ पे कुछ कई जगह पे it's a deep narrow part, कहीं पे it's a plain part and all. So even in a deep sea such parts are present. So this hydrothermal vents क्या होते हैं, this is a particular as a narrow shape area basically, जहाँ पे because of some metabolic activity temperature is very high. Okay, मतलब it is part of the sea only, but then where temperature is very high. So in a specific terms, like a typical narrow area within the sea floor, which is getting hit because of the some changes in the environment and the water conditions. So ऐसे जो एरिया रहते जनरली यू कैन सी देम नियर एनी ऐसे जगह पे जहाँ पे मोस्टली वोल्केनिक इरप्शंस होते रहते हैं, या फिर दे गेट दे हैव अ हाई एनर्जी सोर्सेज नियर बाय. तो या ऐसे सब जगह पे ये hydrothermal vents होते हैं. Basically what do you need to understand, this is a small or not small, this is an area in a sea floor जहाँ पे narrow or a kind of fission kind of thing होगा, and जहाँ पे temperature is very high because of some water activity or some environmental factors, and they are found generally nearby some volcanic areas and all. So this is what hydrothermal vents. They are present very, very deep in the sea, and that's why it is a deep sea. Okay, so I hope
Okay, sir. Thank you.
this is clear. So the next factor comes is the water. I think I don't need to tell you what is the importance of water, because all of us are now mature enough to know how important water is for us. मतलब if the water is not coming for a day, अपना पूरा रूटीन चेंज हो जाता है. Staying at a home, just imagine the animals like us, which are most evolved species on earth, also miss out their routine when there is no water for a day. Why? Because each and everything which we are doing, some or other way, it is related to the water, right? So that's why, so जैसे कि हमारे लिए it is very important, it is also important for the other living beings. So that's why water is an important factor which is responsible for the life on earth. No matter वो smallest bacteria है या most evolved human beings है. Okay, water is important, and uska replacement is still not found. So you go, you eat, you drink whatever you want to do, but then pani is pani. Okay, there is no replacement. But then its availability is also vary. So if you see now in Mumbai, अच्छे से बारिश हुआ तो सब लेक्स भर जाते हैं, and you get sufficient water every day. We are having sea nearby, but then that is not something a potable water, right? We cannot drink the sea water. And if you go in a desert, the level of water or the availability of water is quite less than what we are having over here. If you go some other area, there will be some different conditions will be there. So all these conditions are there. Like कभी कहीं पे water कम है, कहीं पे ज़्यादा है, कहीं पे बहुत ज़्यादा है, but then that is not potable water. So all these things are there. But then what is the bottom line? कैसे भी हो, water plays an important role, and it has to be present in a sufficient amount. And as it is one of the important factor, obviously it will control different factors or different habitats. Okay, so one of the important, we can say, the productivity and the distribution of the plants. Basically we all know plants cannot survive अगर हमने उसको पानी नहीं दिया तो, right? So plants का growth and their प्रोडक्टिविटी इज इम्पोर्टेंट फैक्टर. अगर प्लांट्स ही नहीं ग्रो हो पाए तो प्राइमरी कंज्यूमर्स फूड नहीं हो, उनको फूड नहीं मिलेगा, ऑब्वियसली दे विल नॉट बी एबल टू सर्वाइव. प्राइमरी कंज्यूमर्स सर्वाइव नहीं कर पाएंगे तो सेकेंडरी सर्वाइवर्स भूखे रह जाएंगे, तो वो भी मर जाएंगे. एंड लाइक दैट. सो जस्ट इमेजिन, एक फैक्टर को मैंने स्टॉप कर दिया, इट इज एक्चुअली डिस्टर्बिंग माय एंटायर फूड चेन, right? And that's why it is very important factor. So it's one of the important role is like plants के लिए. So there are multiple factors. Even the organisms living in a water bodies such as oceans, lakes and rivers, उनका भी अपना अपना requirement रहता है, right? They want particular conditions to survive, and that's why they also face some problems. So for some aquatic organisms, they require specific composition of water and specific pH of the water. जहाँ पे और कुछ स्पीसीज ऐसे भी है जिनको थोड़ा वाटर का पीएच शुड बी एसिडिक, कुछ के लिए बेसिक लगता है, बट देयर आर मैक्सिमम नंबर ऑफ एनिमल्स व्हिच कैन स्टे इन अ न्यूट्रल pH. So even the conditions of water in which the organism is staying matters a lot. Okay, next factor is like salinity. So just now I mentioned कि sea water कि बहुत ज़्यादा अमाउंट में अवेलेबल है but cannot be used for like daily purposes because it contains high salt concentration. The dissolved salt concentration, which is measured in a generally in case of salt, in a case of solid sea, if you see in terms of percentage, so the sea contains around 3% of the salt. Okay, and but then different sources contain different concentration of water, salts. I'm sorry. So It can be as less as 5 ppt, okay, or in the fresh water of a streams, or it can be as high as 30 to 35 ppt in oceans, or it can be very high like 100 ppt in a hypersaline positions like lagoons. Okay, so this is some like hypersaline मतलब जहाँ पे बहुत ज़्यादा high level of salts are present. Okay, so this is under PPT, yeah? Like not even ppm or ppd. What is ppt? Ppt is a parts per trillion. There is parts per million, parts per billion, and now this is parts per trillion. Okay, so this is just a unit to indicate the salinity of the water. Then comes the animals wise or the organism wise differences. So there are some organisms that can tolerate a wide range of salinities, and they are called as euryhaline. Haline is like something related to uh, salinity. So some organisms are also called as halophiles, that is salt loving. Okay, halophiles are called as salt loving. So they are actually present in a saline conditions. That's why they are called as halophiles. So these organisms called as euryhaline because they can tolerate a wide range of salinity. But there are others which can be served, which will be able to survive only in the restricted conditions, and they are called as stenohaline. Okay, so halide, stenohaline. There are many other like freshwater animals also which cannot live long in a seawater and vice versa. Very best common example अगर देना है तो fish. We all know there is a seawater fish and there is a river water fish. Even like in a typical words, खाऱ्या पायाची मच्छी आणि गोड्या पायाची मच्छी. So like even that both are fishes, but then their conditions to survive differs. You cannot let the fish from the rivers to like you cannot force it to survive in a seawater, and the same you cannot take up the fish from the sea and allow it to grow in a normal water. It will not, because they are having a different conditions to survive and it has to be fulfilled. Okay, otherwise it nahi hoga, then obviously they will die. So that is about water. That's why it is important, and it includes different conditions like pH, salinity and all, which actually controls the overall factor. Then the third factor is a light. Okay, what does it means? I think light, वन इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग जितना भी हम लोग बचपन से पढ़ते आ रहे लाइट का कि जो उसका फंक्शन है, दैट इज इट्स फोटोसिंथेसिस, राइट? इट इज like, and then they are doing the photosynthesis, which is a very important process in a primary in a producer basically like the plants. They are a basic source or a primary source of energy for all the organisms. Now you can say how you can say all the, because only primary consumers like deer and the herbivores are eating on a plant. Then how can you say all are? So what I meant to say by this, directly or indirectly, सब के सब ultimately plants पे ही develop dependent है. As I mentioned previously also, plants को खाएंगे कौन? Herbivores, that is the primary consumers. Primary consumers को खाएंगे secondary consumers. तो अगर plants ही नहीं रहेंगे तो obviously the entire food chain will get disturbed. So the same thing again. Plants use the light for the photosynthesis, and which is the only source of energy for the entire ecosystem, because it will provide energy to the primary consumers and the food chain will then continue. Okay, and this process can occur only in the presence of light. I think we all have studied photosynthesis in detail. So there is a light phase, there is a dark phase, then there is cyclic and non-cyclic photophosphorylation and all. So I hope you are having basic idea about it. There are many species of plants and like other like types of plants which growing on a forest floor are adapted to perform a photosynthesis optimally under a very low light condition. So I think you तुमने पढ़ा रहेगा, even in the, like there are some areas on earth, let's say even Amazon का घाटी में, so there are very different types of trees, right? They are very big and वेरी लार्जली ग्रोन अप लाइक काइंड ऑफ ट्रीज, तो वो इतने बड़े बड़े हैं so that because of and इतने dense है basically that the sunlight will not even reach down to the earth, मतलब अर्थ फ्लोर पे। तो जो स्पीसीज नीचे है दे विल नॉट गेट एक्चुअली सफिशिएंट amount of energy, but then they are not getting sufficient amount of energy doesn't not mean that they will not able to grow. So they will modify the insect in a some other way so that they will take up the small amount of light also. They will be able to perform the photosynthesis and do their work. Okay, so this is one of the adaptation these plants have done. Okay, why? Because they are constantly overshadowed by this particular plant and they will never get the sufficient amount of light. That's why they have to have this kind of adaptation in their system. In animals also there is like diurnal animals or a seasonal variations in the light intensity and duration actually affect the foraging or reproduction or migratory activities. Diurnal matlab animals which do maximum of their work during the daytime, and when there is no light they will generally do. So like we are also diurnal, हम लोग दिन में सब काम करके रात में सो जाते हैं. That kind of thing. Even the seasonal variations affects. So what is foraging now? It is like some animals. Uh, it is the activity of the animals to go in a search of food. So there are some animals which can only do hunting in a daytime. There are some which can only hunt in a night time kind of thing. They also it also affect the reproductive activities and the migratory activities. So like light is an important factor in this case. So it is basically what this indicates ki what all activities they can do in a day, what all activities they are not doing in a day, that kind of thing. And how will they classify ki day hai ya night hai? Based on the presence of light, right? The availability of the light on the land is closely linked also to the temperature. Absolutely correct, because जहाँ पे बहुत ज़्यादा light आ रहा है obviously temperature will be high, और जहाँ पे बहुत कम जा रहा है temperature will be low, right? So this is about light. And then comes the last factor for today's lecture. It includes soil. So it is like something very important because we all know plants require soil with the particular properties to grow in, right? So these particular properties of the soil, the nature and other properties like those texture, other water binding ability and all, depends on the climate and the weathering process. Now, what is weathering process? It is a process by which actually the soil is produced. Soil को जो process से बनाया जाता है, तो उसको weathering बोलते हैं. This is basically you can say a degradation of rocks and all. It's called as weathering. तुमने ये term सुना रहेगा in your kingdom plantae maybe, जहाँ पे जो lichens पड़े रहेंगे. So lichens are actually symbiotic association between the algae and the fungus, which actually promotes the process of weathering, that is the soil formation. Okay. Then there are various characteristics of the soil such as soil composition. Obviously वो क्या उसमें क्या क्या factors present है वो matter करेगा. उसका size क्या है, particular size क्या है वो matter करेगा. उसका percolation कितना है, like how easily it is allowing the water to pass through और वो उसको hold कर पा रहा है. That is also so that it included under the terms percolation and the water holding capacity. So all these factors play a very important role. And along with this, there are other factors like pH, mineral composition, and topography. मतलब वो कितना rough है, कितना soft है, and all kind of thing will decide the vegetation of in a particular area. What is vegetation? Like what all kinds of plants and different types of like small plants or all can grow in that particular area. And then based on what types of plants are present in a particular area, we can decide what types of animals will be growing. So obviously if there is a very good level of grass and all, most of the herbivores will be present. But अगर वहाँ पे ऐसे राजस्थान जैसे कुछ like क्या बोलते हो जो ओपन लाइक प्लांट मतलब जिसको कांटे वगैरह रहते हैं वैसे रहेंगे, तो ऑब्वियसली डियर्स एंड ऑल वोंट बी प्रेजेंट ओवर देयर, राइट? इट विल बी समथिंग जहाँ पे एनिमल्स ऐसे रहेंगे जो वैसे लाइक दैट कांटे वाले प्लांट से भी अपना फूड ऑब्टेन कर सकते हैं वैसे. So depending on the what type of vegetation is present in a particular area, the type of animals which will be surviving is decided. Okay. So I hope you understood the four important abiotic factors. हमने क्या क्या देखे थे? Temperature, water, light, and sound. So these are the four important factors which are used for the which are considered to be affecting the habitat. So now जैसे कि ये सब factors उसका affect करेंगे habitat को, तो जो कोई भी biotic factors है और living beings are there in a this habitat has to have some kind of modifications or we can say adaptations, right? तो वो कैसे है और वो क्या क्या kind के हो सकते हैं, that we will discussing in the next class. So I hope you understood what we have done till now. If you are having any doubt, you can ask me right now. And if not, then we can stop over here. This chapter is more of theory kind of thing. So थोड़ा focus देके सुनोगे तो समझेगा. Okay. But it is one of the important chapters.